All right, I think we got everything. Let's record this, and then I gotta go to work. 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 What do we post? So much to talk about on today's podcast, and 90% of it is spilt milk. 90% of what we're going to talk about today are things that you guys deal with on a daily basis that I dealt with this weekend. I didn't take my own advice, had a battle with my son. Complete BS. Americans are stressed out and babies. The fucking Patriots, are you kidding me? Biden can't talk. So much crap happening. But more importantly, I didn't take my own advice. I almost did an entire podcast on Halloween candy and the dangers of Halloween candy for 40-year-old plus, for 40-plus-year-old men. And I didn't take my own advice. And we're going to get into that. It's unbelievable. I'm a moron. I'm a mutant. Straight up, I am a mutant. The mutants that I talk about on this program, I'm one of them. I'm one of those idiots that most likely needs the government to make a law against 40-year-old men, 40 plus, I'm 41, eating Halloween candy and the dangers of it and the bad things that happen from it. This is Spazzing Out, America's podcast. I do the podcast 5 times a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday mornings. I try to go on about 6 o'clock every day, 5 times a week. The purpose of going on is to record my podcast. I record it on a laptop using this app called Anchor. While I do it, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, follow my page, share the feed. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this, follow me. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. Most people don't watch the live stream. Most don't. But 600 to 620 to 650 now-ish download the podcast when it first gets uploaded. So today, after I get done recording this, I'll upload the podcast. And between when I upload it and tomorrow, about 600 people will have downloaded it and listened to it. Now, over time, I got something in my mouth. It's got to be this tooth. Hold on. I'll explain it to you guys. So, like 600 people will download, listen to it, and then it gets more over time. So I need you to please subscribe to the podcast. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Hey, Alexa, you can ask Alexa, hey, Alexa, play Spazzing Out, America's podcast. You can get it there as well. AnthonyPazziali.com has all the links to where you can get my podcast. Go check it out. So you can go back and listen to a podcast I did on Friday, the Friday before Halloween, and we were talking about Halloween candy and discussing what my tiers of Halloween candy are. To be straight up clear, Reese's Pieces cups, or the Reese's peanut butter cups, however you call them, they're my number one. Then Snickers, then a Twix, and then I had side candy that I liked, which are Mike and Ike's and Swedish Fish, and what are they called? Sour Patch Kids, Tootsie Rolls, those types of candies. And I said that 40-year-old men, 40 plus, should not be eating those types of candy. They should not eat Swedish Fish. They should not eat Tootsie Rolls. They should not eat Mike and Ike's, because what will happen is it gets sticky, it gets stuck in your teeth. It will rip out your fake teeth. Skittles among them. It will rip you. It'll devastate your mouth. You will surely be at the dentist next week. I gave the warning. I begged people. I said, please, if you have caps, fillings, crowns with posts, don't be an idiot. Do not eat Mike and Ike's. Don't eat Swedish Fish. Don't eat goddamn Tootsie Rolls. And I didn't take my own advice. Saturday, like a moron, I was going through my daughter's bag of candy, and there they were, glorious and delicious Mike and Ike's. I love Mike and Ike's. They're fantastic. And like an ass, I said, you know what? fuck it, I'm going to have some. I'm going to eat some Mike and Ike's, and I put them in, and I'm chewing them. I'm like, oh, these are great. They're actually really soft, and I'm chewing them. I'm like, oh, wait. There's a hard one in there, and I chew it again, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just crunch it up. Nope, I'm not crunching this puppy up because I pulled out a Crown and Post right out. Thanks to the Mike and Ike's. I did not listen to my stupid advice. So I put it back in. It's this one. It's like two back from the canine. I put it back in. Of course, I have to go to the dentist, and hopefully they can fix it, and hopefully they can set it. But it fucked up my whole weekend. It literally fucked up the whole weekend. You can't eat. You can eat, but the way you eat is ridiculous. So all weekend I'm eating on one side of the mouth, and anything that touches the crown with the Post pulls the fucking thing out. And then while I'm sleeping, I'm like, am I going to choke on this stupid thing? So like an ass, I'm one of the idiots that needs the seatbelt law because I won't wear my seatbelt. I'm an idiot. I'm really not. I was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I was drinking. Maybe alcohol played a part in it. I'm sure that the Post and the Crown were on its way out anyways, but I helped it. Like an ass, and I begged people. Literally on Friday, I begged 40-year-old people to not eat Mike and Ike's Swedish fish. I said, please stay away from the Tootsie Rolls. You'll rip your fake teeth out. You'll rip your caps out. You'll rip out your fillings, and you'll rip out your crowns. And like a jackass, I had Mike and Ike's, and I ripped out a crown. And the whole thing, the crown and the Post came right the fuck out. And it just causes a problem because the rest of the weekend, you can't eat. You can eat, but everything's on this side of the mouth, and it just sucks. It sucks. And every time I would eat, I was eating a pancake yesterday, right? And every time I ate, the fucking thing kept popping out. And look, I put the stuff in it to try to hold it down. It didn't work. I went to CVS, and I got the I don't know what the hell it's called, the paste, the glue, the fucking concrete shit comes in a little thing. I put it on there, put the fucking thing back down. It did nothing. It didn't help whatsoever. So now I got to hope that I can get a dentist appointment today, tomorrow, or the next day, and that they can set this thing. And hopefully they can set it. I hope that they don't, that it didn't fuck up the tooth so bad that they have to pull it out. I'm already missing a tooth. I'm bro. These are the things that I immediately showed my son. Immediately. I was like, get your ass in here. This is what I'm talking about, brushing your teeth. I went straight up, scare these motherfuckers straight. Showed my daughter. Was like, brush your teeth. Showed my son. This kid was in the bathroom like, brushing his teeth. I'm like, nah, dude, you got to do it every day. You got to do it every day. For some reason, a lot of boys, we don't brush our teeth when we're younger. We pay the price when we get older. We realize sometime in our 20s that brushing our teeth is extremely important. So we start doing it, but it's too fucking late. And we got tons of teeth. We got caps. We got fucking crowns, root canals, cavities, like everything. I still have teeth. But by the time I'm like 50, I'm gonna be a fucking crackhead. No teeth. Be gum and shit. Like I'm anything soft today. Like an idiot. So again, I will give the advice one more time. I will give out the sage advice. If you are older and you have caps, crowns, fillings of some sort, stay away from the sticky candy. It's good. Like I said, Mike and Ike's are so good enough that I was like, fuck it. I had a few drinks and I went against my own advice, which I usually don't, because it was smart advice. It was pretty easy. Don't eat Mike and Ike's. It's going to rip your damn that crown out, and it did. And now I have to go to the dentist, which is worse, because I don't have dental insurance. I'm self-employed. I don't have dental insurance. I have health insurance, but I don't pay for the dental because I just pay out of pocket, which sucks because it's fucking expensive. It just does. It sucks. I go, you do you once a year, or you're supposed to go every 6 months, but I go when I go to the doctor's same day. So I'll go to the doctor's, go to the dentist, they'll do the fucking cleaning. Dentist will give you a bunch of shit about your teeth. I'm like, yeah, I know, great, awesome. They're all going to be gone someday. I get my dentures ready. I know it. Please. Fuck. So aggravating. All right. So there's one thing with spilt milk that I'm dealing with today. And it stinks because eating is a hassle. So I didn't take my advice. I popped the crown, and you can see the photo of the tooth. I put it on all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go check it out. You can see the tooth. It popped out. It's got the shank on the bottom of it. Dude, the shank's pretty deep. Thing's popping around. I didn't realize how deep the shank went, or the post, as they say, but it's pretty deep. Things like that big is like an inch. All right, check it out. Also this weekend, I had to deal with my son. So my son, his mom, here's the deal. My son goes to school now. It used to be fully remote. It just changed last week. They went back they did like 2 weeks fully remote because they had an outbreak. And now they're back to the hybrid where he goes to school Thursdays and Fridays. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he's at home. And then he goes to school twice a week. Well, we got an email from the teacher that Nariam hasn't been logging in, and Nariam hasn't been doing the schoolwork or doing anything Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now, Nojo's old enough to stay home alone. He's a big boy. He should be able to handle it. And he claims that the Wi-Fi fucks him up. So his mom grounds him for Halloween, says, you can't go. Nojo likes Halloween like most kids do. You can't go to Halloween. And he had this, he wanted to be Jeff the Killer, I guess. I don't know who the fuck Jeff the Killer is, but apparently Jeff the Killer, it wears a white shirt and black pants and, has blood on his face and a knife. So Nariam was going to go as Jeff the Killer. And he was all excited about being this character or this dude. And then his mom says, well, you can't go. So he gets in with me and he's like, hey, Dad, we're still going to do Halloween, right? And I was like, no, bud, I'm sorry. Your mom said you can't, so you can't. I'm not dealing with that shit. You fucked up. It's not my problem. Sorry. You're sitting at home. Your sister go trick-or-treating. You won't. Tough shit. He's all upset. Now everybody's giving me heat. His grandfather calls me and says, you can't take Halloween away from the kid. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, he fucked up. He doesn't get Halloween. Tough shit. My neighbors, you got to take him. My wife, you got to give him a break. You got to give him a break. You got to let him go. And I'm like, no, I'm not letting him go. That's it. He's not going fucking trick-or-treating. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't go to school. And it gets even worse. And I'll get into it. So on Friday, I stood strong and said, no way, he ain't going. My friends are all telling me, the guys I work with, they're all like, look, let him do it. You can't fucking execute a kid on a holiday. You can't tell him on the holidays, like, take his video games. I was like, no. His mom said, no Halloween. He gets no Halloween. Did I want him to have Halloween? Yes. I honestly, I did. I felt bad. I was like, isn't there something? I asked his mom, isn't there something else I could take away from him selfishly that I could take away from him? Because this is like one of the last Halloweens I would get with Nariam. He's 12 years old, couple, maybe one or two left, but that's it. And I don't really usually have him on Halloween. I've never really get him solo because he lives with me half the time, lives with his mom half the time. And you know what? This isn't a shot on his mom. His mom, listen, she's a great mom. So not a shot on her. She's doing the right thing, disciplining her son and making sure that his ass understands how important schoolwork is. So I agree with that. I was just like, shit, damn it. And I talked to him and I'm like, bud, this unfortunately, this is how life is. If you don't do your schoolwork and you don't listen to your parents, you get punished. So we got punished. Now here's where it gets a little fucked up. Friday going into Saturday, I reach out to Noj. I go downstairs. I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to give you a chance to try to redeem yourself and see if I can go to bat. Because I was going to go to bat for him with his mom. I was like, look, I'll go to bat for you and see if I can work something out to get you to go trick-or-treating. What I need you to do, he has a book that he's supposed to read for school, is get caught up on the book. I'm like, hey, get caught up on the book. Read the 80 pages you're supposed to read. You got it. This is in the morning, and I was going to work. I was like, you got from now until tonight. It's plenty of time for you to read 80 pages in a book. So I want you to read these pages, and I'll go to bat for you. I will call your mom and I will plead your case. I will be your dad attorney with your mom, and I will try to plead for leniency so that you can go trick-or-treating. And Nariam says, yep, Dad, I got it. I'm going to do it because I want to go. So great. I go to work. I come home and I go to him like, all right, buddy, did you read the book? And he's like, yep, I read it. I read it all. And I caught up and I said, okay, tell me about it. So here's the great thing. He starts to tell me about it. Literally. He goes in depth. He starts telling me about it. And while he's telling me, I said, you know what? I thought about it for a second. I said, hey, hold on. Let me come back in about an hour. So I went, and I didn't read all 80 pages. I read 40 of them. I went right in the middle, and I read 40 pages. And then I came back downstairs, and then I asked him, I said, okay, tell me more about it. And he's telling me this shit, and I'm like, this is bullshit. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Him telling me this story was like me getting pulled over by a police officer when I'm drinking, and the officer looks at me and says, how many drinks have you had tonight? And the alcohol's pouring out. You could smell it from a mile away. I look at him and I'm like, eyes all glazed. Just one. I only had one drink tonight. You only had one drink tonight, officer. And the guy's like, where you going? And you're going to a party or the next bar, or I'm going home. And the guy's like, where do you live? And you're in Fitchburg, but you live in fucking Woburn. I live on Main Street, 230 something Main Street in Fitchburg. The guy's like, you going right home? Yeah, I'm going right home. Get the fuck out of here. He knows you're lying. Just like I knew my son was lying. So so finally I asked him. I said, all right, Narium. And this is the greatest part, because you could tell it was going to be the theme of the fucking book. I go, okay, bud, who did Charlie's one of the characters, who was Charlie meeting at the restaurant? This is the best. And wasn't even meeting Charlie's a girl. Who is Charlie meeting? She was meeting a boy, John. He goes, oh, he was meeting Jessica. And I go, really? I'm like, all right, tell me about it. So he starts making up a fucking story about how Charlie had to meet Jessica at this restaurant and the conversation that they had. And I let it go. So I said, all right, you know what? Charlie, there is a Jessica in the book. Let me read a little further. Maybe there is maybe she had to meet Jessica later in the book at a restaurant. So I went and I read, and she didn't. And I found out more information about what Charlie had come across, what Charlie had seen, who Charlie had fucking called. So I go back downstairs and I said, bud, did Charlie meet someone else at the restaurant? He's like, no, there's nobody else to meet at the restaurant. And I said, okay, all right. Then I went to the next topic and I said, okay, maybe he just phased out, and when he was reading that part of the book, he just got lost. And because 10 kids, you can read, but you don't read. And I said, all right, why the chief, this guy, Clay Burton, or I don't know what the fuck, I can't even remember his last name, but I knew that he was the chief of police of the city called Hurricane. At least I knew what the fuck he was. So I go, why did the chief of police go to Charlie's college and get her? And he makes up the story. Oh, he had to go and talk to her about something because there was a previous book about, ask her how she was doing and how things were at college. And I said, where'd they go? He's like, well, they didn't go anywhere. And I was like, bud, what the fuck? I go, what did Charlie find? What did she find? And this book is about animatronics. Oh, she found robots. I go, she found robots. I go, that's what she found. She found it's this book called fucking Five Nights at Freddy's. Fucking terrible. And I'm like, so she found the animatronics? He's like, yeah. I go, in the field? She goes, yeah, she went into the field and there were all the animatronics. And I'm like, bud, you didn't read the fucking book. Because in the field, what she found, she was driving back to Hurricane, right? In the fucking field, she found a body. She found a dead person, a woman that was fucking mangled. And then the chief of police, the reason that he went to the college was to grab her and take her back to Hurricane, which is the city of Hurricane, so that she could look at a body, two bodies. The police chief saw one, she found one, because she knew the type of, she knew what happened to them, because her dad had created these fucking animatronic suits, Freddy, Foxy, I can't think of the other fucking name, but anyways, the animatronics, they kill people, and she knew what it looked like when they killed them, and he didn't fucking know. And I go, bud, you didn't read the book. Now he's like, yes, I did, Dad. No one ever fucking believes me. He swears, right? I wanted to pop him, dude. I've only hit Narium twice because he hit me. I wanted to hit him so bad. He's like, I read the book. Why doesn't anybody believe me? And I just looked at him, I go, Bud, believe you? Based on what? Based on what? Everything you're telling me right now is bullshit. I read the book. I forget, he says. So I lost my mind. I literally, I got right in his face, and I usually don't yell at Narium. I got right in his face, and I pointed my finger like right on his forehead. I'm just like, there's no room for excuses and bullshit in my house. If you're gonna lie to me and you're gonna make up bullshit excuses about what you didn't do, you can get the fuck out right now. And I went off, and he starts crying. I didn't read the book. Fine. I didn't read the book. He starts crying. I didn't read the book. And I just looked at him and I go, no shit. And I went upstairs so I could cool off. Because I left a big pot out. I gave him an option before I went off on him. I gave him a chance to save himself. I said, hey, you have two options. One, you can come clean. I'm trying to save him. I gave him the rope. I'm like, I reached out the altar and say, listen, buddy, I'm going to give you one or two options. You can come clean and say you didn't read the book, or you can tell me what the chief of police needed Charlie for and what Charlie found in the field, and you can tell me. And I gave him time. I was like, you could let me know by tomorrow and who was at the restaurant. And then he looks at me, and that's when he says, I read the book and I fucking lost it. I lost it on him. I went bonkers. So of course, after all that, he had calmed down. He come upstairs. He apologized to me. And then, once your kids calm down and you have also calmed down, once you take the emotion out of it, you become dad and the kid, then you can have a meaningful conversation as to how to correct the behavior. But you still can't back off. So he apologizes. We work things out, and we work towards him taking the next step and understanding why, one, it's disrespectful to lie to dad. Two, why there's no room for excuses. I don't want to hear any. There is no excuses in my house. I won't stand for it. You either get something done or you don't get something done. And if you don't get something done, you fucking get it done. There isn't. You get punished. That's it. Period. There's no fucking around here. I'm trying to make a man. I'm not trying to make a bitch. I need my son to be able to do things for himself. The same thing with my daughter. These people at some point in their lives have to take care of themselves, and it's my responsibility to make sure that my kids can. It's yours. So if you're a parent and you're listening right now and you're like, man, that's pretty harsh. You didn't let your kid go trick-or-treating. Well, I hope that someday when he gets older, he looks back and says, yeah, my dad and my mom, they were trying to make me a man and make me understand how important shit is. But again, I tried to give him the out and he fucking screwed the pooch. So we had the conversation, and then he asks me, says, Dad, so can I go trick-or-treating? And I calmly just said to him, I said, buddy, what would you do? I asked him, I said, what would you do if you were me? What would you do if you were the dad in this situation? And he answered the answer correctly. He said, I would say no. I would tell you that you can't, and now you definitely can't because of what just happened. And then he also said, I wouldn't call your mom and ask her to go. And I said, okay, well, there you go, buddy. So unfortunately, you don't get to go trick-or-treating. And then we had the little bit of the conversation. I put the dagger in there. I wanted him to feel it. So he goes downstairs. I came down before we left, and I said, how does it feel that you're not going to get to go trick-or-treating? And at this point, he was just kind of over it. He goes, I'm over it. Whatever. I don't really care. And I said, oh, good. I'm glad that you're over it. I'm glad that it's not a big deal to you, but I wanted to let you know that it's a big deal to Dad. I'm upset. I don't get you on Halloween often. This might be one of the last Halloweens where you'd actually want to go and enjoy it. And I'm not going to get the opportunity to have a Halloween with you and your sister. And you took that away from me because you didn't do the things you wanted to do. And it bothers me, and I'm hurt by it. And you just right there, he was crushed. He was crushed. He was like, Dad, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, it's okay. I just looked at him, I go, don't worry about it, buddy. I go, it's one of those things that I'm never going to get back. And you took it from me. I hammered him with it. Hammered him. Crushed his little ass. We went trick-or-treating. We got back. he was upstairs. Well, we didn't really go. There's not much to do trick or treating. Presley didn't want to go. I went to my neighbor's house and I drank, basically. And I went and I talked with Pam and Catherine, and they had candy and stuff over there. So trick or treating wasn't like the biggest deal for Presley because it was canceled anyways. But a couple of neighbors had it. We went out. We came back in. Nariam was sitting there very upset. I felt bad that he was upset, but I think he got the lesson, and I think it sunk in. I think for once he got it, and then him and I are working now on a plan. Because I told him, I said, look, buddy, I understand that it's difficult. The remote school thing sucks, and you're left to yourself. You're leaving a kid that's just about 13 years old to do things by himself. What do you think 13-year-olds are going to do when they're fucking by themselves? They're going to fart and smell it. They're going to play video games. They're going to fucking jerk off. And that's it. That's all a 13-year-old boy is going to do, period. He's not going to do anything else. He may go downstairs and try to make himself a fucking bowl of cereal. That's it. They're going to fuck off the whole day. So starting today, Nariam has to check in with me all day long. Nojo's going to be checking in with me, and he's going to, and I'm going to make sure that his little ass is in class. And it sucks because I don't want to deal with that shit because I got to fucking work. But now while I'm at work, I got to make sure this stupid shit goes to school and make sure the stupid shit sits his ass down. So there, people are giving me crap. They think that I'm a harsh father because I stuck with his mom and said, yep, no trick-or-treating. You lost it for the year. But there is no room for bullshit. There's no room for missing school. There's absolutely no room for failing classes. There's no room for this. None whatsoever. And if you're a parent and you let your kid get away from it because you feel bad, because you think, oh, my kid's going to hate me, well, you're doing your kid a disservice. And when your kid gets older, he's going to be a fucked up piece of shit, period. You have to be hard on your kids. You have to have them understand that they have to listen to you, that they have to do their schoolwork. And it's not about the schoolwork. School is not for everyone. That's not the point here. The point is that you have to show up, that you have to, you learn responsibility, you learn being on time, you learn what it takes to get something. Like a book report is like a project at work. You learn what it takes to execute something that takes time to take care of. That's what you learn. You don't necessarily need to learn how to read. The kids can read, and you may never do a book report again in your life. But what you will understand is that over the course of a month, it might take a project a month long to do, and you learn the building blocks and the foundation now by banging out a book report that might take 2 or 3 weeks to do from start to finish. You learn how to start the project, what to do in the middle, and how to finish it. It's fucking important. All right. Done with the spilled milk shit. I still can't believe I lost my crown, man. I can't. I did not take my own advice with the Halloween candy, and I ate some Mike and Ike's, and it pulled out a crown and post in my tooth, which I'll call the dentist after, once they open today, and hopefully they can fit me in. Patriots. Let's real quick. I got to talk about the Pats because the sky is falling in New England. The Patriots are 2-5, and nobody knows what to do, and everybody is upset. And I'd kind of like to go in the other direction and just say, honestly, the Pats could easily be 5-2. 3 games we had a chance at the end of the game to win. Yesterday was garbage that Cam draw. I mean, honestly, it's garbage. 100%. You can't. Your best player can't drop the ball at the end of the game. They were in, honestly. They were in field goal range if Cam doesn't drop the ball, and they might have had a shot at the end zone with a little bit of time left on the clock, possibly to win the game. But at very least, they could have tied the game, put the thing in overtime. So it's absolute garbage that your best player drops the ball. So I'm not letting Cam off the hook. It's terrible. It's terrible. The people who say we should move on from Cam, I don't think that we should. I think what we should do is get the best we can out of Cam. I think Belichick needs to make Cam right now, if you were to try to trade Cam, you're not getting much for him. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys would take him because they need a quarterback, but you're not getting 3rd round, 4th round. Right now, Cam hasn't shown shit. He looks terrible, so you're not going to get a lot for him. But if the Patriots can go rip off 5, 6, 7 wins in a row and Cam can play well, then they can franchise tag him at the end of the season, and then they can trade him for something valuable. Right now, there's no value. Of course, if they continue to lose, then they'll just take what they can get, and maybe they would get rid of them. But at this point, they're not that far out. Honestly, they could be 5-2. I know they're not. They're 2-5. And, if dogs, had a square ass, they'd shit bricks. I get it. The thing is that the Pats still, this is fucked up, but they could still make the playoffs. They could still go out and play well. I didn't think they played too bad. Yes, they gave up a shit ton on the run. They gave up tons, but they still didn't. They still kept the defense, still kept the team in it. They still held the Bills back enough so that they had a chance to win at the end of the game. That shit happened with Seattle. They could have beat KC, and they could have beat the Bills. They could easily be 5-2. They're bad. Yes, I'm not disagreeing that they're bad. They're decimated by injuries 100%, but they're actually still right there. So I'm not going to crap on the Patriots so much. Yes, I watched the game. Yes, it was terrible. Yes, it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I couldn't believe how easily the Bills could run all over them. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is they're not so far dead as people would like to think. They're not so far dead. They could be 5-2 easily. I think that the Pats can pull together a few wins. I think they will still make the playoffs. An extra team makes the playoffs this year. It would be extremely difficult for them to do, but I think that they could still do it. I think that there's still light at the end of the tunnel. I'm still a believer. I'm a fucking homer. But on the other side, I have become 100% completely vested in watching the Buccaneers and Tom Brady and seeing. I can't wait the games tonight and seeing. Let's go Tampa Tom all the way. All right, few things to do. I gotta go to work, man. What time is it? All right, we'll do this last one and then I'm out. Okay, listen, this is something that I love talking. So for whatever reason, news organizations love to do studies. They love to do surveys and get people's opinions. They interviewed 2,000 people, right? They took a survey sample of 2,000 people, and more than half of these people are saying they believe that Election Day will be the most stressful day of their lives. That voting, it will be the most stressful thing they have ever done in their entire life. And I love stories like this because it makes me laugh. It makes me think about the things in my life that are stressful. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are stressed out about, do I pick Trump? Do I pick Biden? Do I vote yes on fucking question 1? Do I vote no on question 2? That's what you do here in Mass. You vote yes on 1, you vote no on 2. I'll explain that shit tomorrow. But my most difficult thing is like I'm inside Demoulas. I'm at Market Basket, and I'm trying to decide between, the fucking Market Basket cheese or the other cheese. I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, this one might taste a little better, but this, because it's more expensive, but this one costs like a fucking dollar less. That's what I'm concerned. I'm in the cereal aisle, and I'm like, do I get Captain Crunch, or do I get fucking do I get berries with the crunch, the cheap brand, because it's like $5 cheaper, and it comes in a fucking bag, and the most stressful thing in my life is going to be deciding who I have to vote for tomorrow. What am I going to do? Oh, I stress out. I'm in my fucking bathroom taking a shit, and I stress out about how many sheets of toilet paper I'm going to use because I don't know if I can fucking buy toilet paper. Stressed out. Shut the fuck up. I hate. This should be, people in America, it should be 100%. I'm not stressed out about voting because you should be educated on who you're going to vote for. You should already know who you're going to vote for. Almost 100 million people already voted. There's no fucking voting. There's no stress. Bro, please, anybody that is a bitch ass that is stressed out about voting, please walk a half hour in my shoes. Please. But you want to get stressed out, bro? I have a pair of fucking glasses, these ones that I have on, that I can't see out of my right lens. It's been fucked up for fucking 2 months, but my glasses are like fucking retardedly expensive. So it's like $400 for the lenses. I don't have the fucking money to spend. Can I get it? Yeah, but I pay my fucking bills before I do shit like that. I just had a crown and a post ripped out of my tooth, and I'm dreading going to the dentist because I got to fucking pay to get it put in. I need fucking new tires. That's stress. And then you got to go to work, and you got to deal with your kids, and you got to deal with your family. That's stress, bro. Everyday life is stress. Voting, that's simple. Very simple. Fucking do your homework, study who you're going to vote for. Plain and simple. For those of my friends that like Joe Biden that are listening right now, fuck off. Don't fucking vote for Joe Biden. The guy was in Pennsylvania yesterday, and it's got nothing to do with his politics and all to do with the fact that the guy's not there. The dude is not fucking there. The guy's not fucking alive. Literally, he was in Pennsylvania, and he's like, oh, yeah, I love Philadelphia. My wife is from Philly. I got my Eagles jacket on. The guy was wearing a fucking jacket from University of Delaware. Didn't even have an eagle on it. His mind is gone. There's no stress there. None. You look and you say, well, I might have one point in my life, not me, this is a Biden supporter. I might have one point in my life supported Joe Biden and believed his views, which I think you should go get yourself mentally fucking checked if you said that too, but whatever. So I might have believed in Joe, but now it's apparent to me that Joe Biden doesn't have the mental capacity, that he has fucking dementia, that he's showing his old age. Every time he talks, he doesn't know where the fuck he is or what the hell he's talking about. So you would just deduce off that, I'm not voting for him. That I have to vote for somebody else. Or come out and just say, hey, look, I'm not voting for Joe, right? But I'm voting for Kamala. Because it's clear that time and time again, I have to calm down now. It's clear that time and time again, and this has nothing to do with Joe's politics, that when he talks, it is clear that he is not all there anymore. It's clear that when he goes to Philadelphia and tells the people in Philly that he's an Eagles fan, that his wife's a Philly girl, and that, hey, I'm wearing my Eagles jacket, and he doesn't even have a fucking Eagles jacket on, or an eagle on the jacket. He's wearing a University of Delaware fucking jersey that has a blue hen on it, not a fucking eagle, that the guy has lost his fucking mind. He has lost it. He has some form of dementia. It's coming on. And the fact that people in this country look the other way on his son's scandal and his dealings with it, and then the fact that he is not mentally capable of holding the office is mind-boggling to me. It's straight up there like a moron who gives advice about not eating Mike and Ike's and then fucking eats the Mike and Ike's and his crown pops out. It's stupid. Thank you so much for listening to America's Podcast. I got to go to work. Have a good day. Mm. All right, I think we got everything. Let's record this.